You have a lot of superpowers, but making more time isn't one of them. Today I want to share with you some of my go-to productivity hacks, both as a small business owner and a work-from-home mom. Sprinkled in here are a few of the productivity tips that I've taught to more than 140 creatives inside my Art of Efficiency program, but I want to pull back the curtain and tell you what's actually working for me now. As I try to get stuff done with a kid at home, I never knew how productive I could be, nor how decisive I could be. Hey y'all, welcome back to episode 79 here on the Ashlyn Writes channel. I'm Ashlyn, a conversion copywriter for creatives like you. I help you make more money with your words so you can work from a place of more rest, less hassle. But before we dive in, I want to double check, are you subscribed to this channel? If not, look down below for that red button and the bell beside it. I share tips and tricks like this every single week. I respect your time, that's what we're talking about today, and so I work really hard to make these short, to the point, so you can watch them, get some tips, and then go back to doing your creative art or task in your business. All right, now hit that like button if you feel like you work around the clock as a creative small business owner. The Small Business Administration here in the good old US of A says that there are about 28 million small businesses across the nation. Of those, 25 million of them cite that they have one employee. No wonder we feel like we're always working on our business. Statistics would say that most of us are the only one working for our businesses. Since odds are high that you wear more than one hat in your business, I don't want to waste another second of your time. Let's hop in. These are 7 habits to help you become more productive. Habit number 1, time box yourself. If you've ever heard the idea of Parkinson's law before, the concept that your work will expand to fit the amount of time that you allow for it, this fulfills that. Example, I recently got photography back from Abby Grace Photography. I was so excited. One night my husband was at work, the baby was asleep. I whip out my laptop, poured a glass of wine, and I got ready to install some of those images. Well, wouldn't you know, 2 hours later, I'm sitting there, no new images are really installed. I think I got maybe 3 up, and I'd gone down a complete other bunny trail. I'm guessing if you're watching this, you're kind of like me, perhaps wired a little bit to let your creative imagination run wild when you finally get your hands on a task that you've been wanting to do. If you're like this, time box. Let me tell you quickly about 2 tools that have helped me out with this. The first is this little square box. I think it was about 15 bucks on Amazon. It's broken up into time increments, and all you do is look at the bottom, turn it on, and set a time. Flip it over and let it sit on that time, and it will let you know when it's done. Kind of a loud and annoying sound if that bothers you. The other tool that I like is an app for your phone called Focus Keeper. I've talked about this app a lot. Basically, it runs on Pomodoro sprints of 25 minutes on, 5 minutes off. You can set it, and then once you get to the end of the 25 minutes, it puts on some beautiful ocean waves for you to relax to, shift gears, have a sip of water, and then it goes back into another sprint round. Super helpful. Habit number 2, drink water in the morning. I drink a ton of coffee, carbonated water. I like a good glass of wine, as I mentioned. I have to remind myself to actually drink the good old-fashioned flat water. I found it also fuels me from a productivity standpoint. You've heard this kind of thing before, but what can you actually do to make sure you're drinking water? 2 ways I've made this a habit. The first are taking a glass of water, filling it up at night, and putting it on my nightstand. So in the morning, after my alarm goes off and I get up, I just sit there in bed, don't even hit the floor yet, and chug that glass of water. Then I'm allowed to go on with my day. If I get thirsty in the middle of the night, one thing I do is before I pour my cup of coffee, which I love so much in the morning, I first fill up my mug with water, chug that down real quick, and then I'm allowed to pour coffee in the mug. Habit number 3, the drop and give me 20 rule. So I've been doing this since I moved into my new office space. Sometimes I just want to get up, I want to go inside, see my baby, see my husband if he hasn't left for work yet. When I'm head down working on a project and I feel like I can't go anymore, I challenge myself to push it just a little bit further. I get a boot camp instructor voice in my head and I say, just drop and give me 20 more. 20 more minutes on this task. You can do 10, you can do 15. This will help you push through that task, get a few more creative ideas out on paper, and then you're done, then you can walk away from it. That's my drop and give me 20 rule, for lack of a better name. If that sounds like something you're gonna try this week in your business, comment below and let me know so I can cheer you on. Habit number 4, reread your goals every morning. I do this every morning as part of my rest to work wind up routine. A lot of you know I love power sheets. They really help me actually figure out how to set goals. Fun fact, Ben Franklin, clearly a very productive man, did something similar similar to this. He kept a list of virtues, and at the end of every day, he would go through and check off the ones that he felt like he actually made some movement on. Checking in with my goals every morning recharges my creative juices like crazy and turns on my productivity switch because I actually see what I'm working for. Habit number 5, start what I'm gonna call an idea parking lot. Shiny object syndrome, anyone? My students inside the Art of Efficiency know that I call it a parking lot, but really I'm just talking about some way for you to log and capture all of your brilliant ideas. This is what mine looks like. It's just a list jotted down of anything I've thought of. So let me tell you how this works. If I'm on a call or working on a client project and I get that great idea, what if I fill in the blank with anything here? Then I pick up my pen and I jot that down on this list and I move on from it. Just knowing that it lives somewhere that I can look at later helps me a lot. I know I could use a fancy pants digital tool for this, but what has actually helped me is just a piece of paper that happens to be inside PowerSheets. It's kind of a blank page. I use that. Habit number 5, hack exercise. I'm not going to tell you the usual list of workout in the morning, exercise propaganda. You've heard it all before. Instead, I'll be honest. I was a card-carrying member of the 6 a.m. workout club for years. It started back when I worked in corporate marketing, and I did it pretty much up until I got pregnant. Now I have a hard time getting up too early if Tal hasn't slept well at night, or I just want a little bit more sleep, or if we're gonna go on a walk or do a workout together, like a mommy and me workout at the end of the day. But I miss that productive, blood-pumping feeling that a good morning workout can bring into your workday. I got this idea from the Miracle Morning book. Even just 60 seconds of jumping jacks can do the trick. Or maybe you want to hold a plank for 60 seconds or do a yoga inversion up against the wall. Again, I don't really know the science on this. I'm just telling you what has actually worked for me. And sometimes a couple of dozen jumping jacks do the trick. Habit number 6, create a system for keeping your notes. Become an obsessive note organizer, especially for my readers out there. Begin capturing the main ideas of any books or articles that you read somewhere that is not your brain. Your memory is not perfect. I'm planning on doing a full video on how I read and how I take notes for the books that I'm reading here in a few weeks on my channel. If that's something that you're interested in or have a few questions on, comment below and I'll try to work on those for the video. But regardless if you consider yourself a reader or not, go ahead and start creating a great system to house your notes and your learnings. Which brings me to habit number 7, build a digital company guidebook. Both the last habit and this one come from the idea that any time that you're spending looking for something that you need is killing your productivity. So clean up things and put them all in one spot. Even when it was just me working for my business, I had a company guidebook. It's a board on Trello. It included links to logos and brand imagery, hex codes, a link to my brand voice style guide, mission statement, core values, my bio, everything like that. It was all in one place on this one Trello board. Still is in my business. I'll link the video below where you can learn how to create one of these for your own business if you don't have one yet. So helpful. Now that you know how to be more productive overall in your creative small business, what about keeping your inbox at bay so you can get back to your work? I have a free checklist of 28 email templates that you need as a creative. Look below for that link so you can grab the checklist, build out those templates, and then be more productive in your inbox so you can get back to your deep work. And once you have these productivity habits down, you're gonna have more time to be creative. Need more tips on sparking your creativity? Watch this video up next where I'm giving you my best tips on being more creative.